Tonight on CTV News at 5.
It should be on the minds of everyone, every day, and not just 28 days out of the year.
Strength in Unity. African Heritage Month honors Black Canadians' past, present, and promising future. And Insta-famous. Meet the 90-year-old from New Brunswick who's become a social media sensation.
Partly cloudy conditions along with a chance of flurries tonight and Tuesday.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Panopalis. Thank you for joining us. First at 5 tonight, Strength in Unity. It's African Heritage Month or Black History Month, depending on your province. February, of course, is dedicated to celebrating the impact and accomplishments of Black Canadians. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, communities right across our region are ready to honor the past and a promising future. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi there, Maria. Celebrations are happening around the region in honor of African Heritage Month. And here in the Maritimes, communities are paying tribute to the rich history and what lies ahead.
The Pan-African flag went up at Fredericton City Hall this morning, a nod to the beginning of Black History Month in Canada and across the Maritimes.
When we think about particularly in Nova Scotia, our rich history as African Nova Scotians, having been here for over 400 years, and the contributions that African Nova Scotians have made to this province as well as to this country is very important to recognize.
Celebrations nationwide are just getting started. In Shelburne, Nova Scotia, an African Heritage Month proclamation was held at the Black Loyalist Heritage Centre. Their executive director, an eighth-generation descendant of the Black Loyalists, dedicates her time to commemorating that history.
We are not a museum where artifacts go to die. We are live, we are vibrant, we are historical, we are educational, we are informative. I know we say this, and every year we get a new theme, but to me, every year is almost an awakening, but also a reckoning with the past to figure out how we got here, why we got here, and what can we do to move forward.
The 2026 African Heritage Month theme is Strength in Unity, a fitting message for Nova Scotia's contribution and commitment to Black history.
It's an opportunity, listening, learning, understanding, and just to talk about how far we have come.
Local writer Lindsay Ruck reminds people work can start at home and through many forms.
As an author, writing about it is one thing I can do, and I'm hoping that that reaches even one person. That'll make a huge difference.
Using her love for storytelling to ensure that legacy lives on.
It means a lot to me. I think especially now that I also have kids and I know what's exciting for them and learning about their heritage. To me, it's about celebrating.
And there is no shortage of events happening this month, from galas to educational sessions. Communities in our region are celebrating African heritage and honoring it not only as Black history, but Canadian history. Maria.
Thank you, Vanessa. CTV's Vanessa Wright for us in the news center this evening. All right, time to head over now to Todd Battis. He's had a busy day in the newsroom. Hi there, Todd.
Hi, thanks, Maria. Truro police are investigating a woman's death during today's storm. The 54-year-old woman died after being struck by a snowplow. Police say she was walking across a parking lot around 6:30 in the morning when she was hit. We will have more from Truro at 6. New Brunswickers tell us it remains frustrating navigating the healthcare system when you don't have a family doctor, and that unlucky group of people is only growing in the province. CTV's Laura Brown has the numbers and reaction at 6. The cold winter months are a slow time for maritime restaurants. It's more difficult to get customers out of the house and through the door. Well, the Nova Scotia Restaurant Association is hoping a dine around program will lure folks in to check out the menu, and we will do just that in your newscast. Right now, let's check out the current conditions on this Monday. CTV meteorologist Kellen Mitchell.
And it's February 2nd, so you would expect things to maybe be a little bit in the chilly side, and they are that as we're making our way into the first part of this evening. Temperature is not too far off what would be average daytime highs for this time of the year. In most cases, that is a couple degrees below the freezing mark. A few locations rated around 0 or +1. We've got 1 degree right now at Dilktown in New Brunswick, at Miramichi, and also close to Kushabakwak National Park. Many other parts of the Maritimes sitting with temperatures currently between around 0 and -4. Now, there are some gusty winds out there, so wind chill is making it feel colder, especially in Prince Edward Island and parts of Nova Scotia, where the wind chill right now for some areas is making it feel between -7 and -11. Here's the winds, still mostly out of the north, and they are gustiest around Prince Edward Island, in eastern areas of Nova Scotia, where they're being sustained currently between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. The higher winds mostly at areas of the coast, and you can see some of the wind gusts coming up between 30 and 60 kilometers per hour. Actually, one gust at the Sydney airport right now at 65. Taking a look at things on radar and satellite, a lot of cloud cover in place across Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. Still likely to be some flurries or some light snow that comes down off the Cabot Strait for parts of Cape Breton, and a chance of flurries for both Prince Edward Island and the north shore of Nova Scotia as we make our way through tonight. That is happening on the backside of the storm system that bypassed a good portion of the Maritimes. It did bring a heavy snowfall to parts of the east of Nova Scotia and a heavy snowfall to areas of Newfoundland. All more in the forecast later on. Maria.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. Right now, Riverview's Winter Carnival is well underway, and on Saturday, a pair of snowshoe artists created a sight best seen from far away. CTV's Derek Haggett gives us a view.
It was sunny and cold Saturday with no wind whatsoever at Riverview's Mill Creek Nature Park. Perfect conditions for Nova Scotia snowshoe artist Matt Robinson.
Well, 5 years now, I guess it's a tradition, and they ask us back every year, and we're happy to come back every year.
Robinson has created a 50-meter diagram of sustainable art on top of a frozen reservoir.
You can't afford mistakes when you have a perfect canvas. If you veer off course, it's there. You can't fix it. Mother Nature makes a perfect canvas. You step on it, it's marked.
It looks complex, but Robinson and his artist partner Alan Cruz do a lot of pre-planning, and using some rudimentary tools, the plan is executed to perfection.
I'm glad to be here. I've seen them do it for the last 5 years, and I think it's amazing.
So does the town of Riverview. It first noticed Robinson's work during the pandemic, when it was looking for different activities for the carnival that could go ahead during COVID.
You know, you get your usual users, but we also get folks that are just interested in art, or we get a lot of folks that have never been in the park before too, so it's a great draw for Riverview and for Mill Creek.
Dozens stop by to have a peek from atop Mill Creek's impressive lookout point.
It's fantastic. It's pretty. Looks great in the sun.
Firefighters checked the ice conditions first to make sure it was safe. It took around 4 hours to complete this year's design. The snowshoe art will be on display here at Mill Creek Nature Park for as long as Mother Nature will allow it. So if you want to see it for yourself, you better come down before the next snowfall. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Riverview, New Brunswick.
Thank you, Derek. I can't believe they did that in 4 hours. I don't think I could do that in 4 months. All right, time for a break. Here's a preview of a couple of the stories still to come on.
I'm Derek Haggett, just north of Moncton city limits. Coming up on CTV News at 5, I'm going to introduce you to Cedric Landers, who's become an overnight internet social media sensation. You're going to hear some of his songs and get his reaction to all this new fame. That story is coming up.
I'm Bria Foley on Spring Garden Road in Halifax, and another Monday, another snow day. What to do with your kids when you're experiencing multiple days? That's coming up tonight on CTV News at 5.
Liam McGraw, who came up through Metro Minor Lacrosse and Lacrosse Nova Scotia program, is now the second local player to play pro on home turf. McGraw, who was drafted to the Georgia Swarm in 2023, played against the Halifax Thunderbirds Saturday night. It was an unforgettable night for McGraw's family and, of course, the local lacrosse community.
To see someone to go to the highest level, it kind of makes that pathway real and something that they can do themselves.
It's a dream come true for him and us and our whole family. He's been working really hard for this for a really long time, so we're super proud and happy for him.
Too bad for the Thunderbirds. His team won 11-7. Of course, the Thunderbirds get another crack at the Swarm in Georgia on March 20th. Well done, Liam. Nice to see all your success. All right, on to our next story here. Talk about Groundhog Day. Many schools in Nova Scotia experienced their third straight Monday snow day. As CTV's Brianne Foley explains, pre-planning childcare is key.
Another Monday, another snow day. Though this time, a lot of parents were prepared.
I recommend people plan ahead, so I always tell people to have a backup plan. The people that come here, they know the system, so we opened a bit later, which was fine. A lot of families are staying home just because the road conditions still aren't great.
We know that, that the library as a space is even kind of more critical in days when the weather is not so great.
And while most schools and businesses didn't close Monday, delayed starts had an impact on the daily routine.
We know that, it can be tough, especially kids are going stir crazy, and parents too in some cases. So we always have a wide variety of programming going on.
Portland Daycare has some advice for those older kids who are missing class on snow days as well.
A lot of times when schools are closed, universities are closed, and if you get to know, there's some really great university students or high school students.
High school students may have been babysitting, but many took advantage of an extra study day, since exams for all students were rescheduled to Tuesday for all HRCE schools. Halifax Public Library saw an uptick in traffic today.
Oh, it's a prime location for studying, and I always say, to university students too, don't neglect the public library as a spot to study.
And with potential snowfall this weekend, Groundhog Day may just have a repeat. We'll have to wait and see. Brianne Foley, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Brianne. And I know we're kind of joking, but not really. 3 days in a row seems a little too coincidental.
Yeah, the climatology, sometimes these winter storm systems runs for about 4 to 7 days. That's either up the eastern seaboard or exiting through the eastern seaboard. So you can get set up in those cycles where they seem to come around at the same day each week. And we've certainly seen that.
Kids are loving it.
Yeah, and some of those students getting an extra day to cram for those exams. Temperatures seasonably chilly for early February across the Maritimes today. There was some shoveling, some cleanup needed, especially for eastern areas of Nova Scotia. We're looking out here in downtown Halifax, Georges Island. All more in the forecast next.
Popular contest is back. CTV and Charm Diamond Centers want to help you charm your Valentine. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, you could win a $2,500 gift card to Charm Diamond Centers to help express your love for that special someone. To enter, just go to ctvatlantic.ca or click on the QR code on your screen right now. We will announce the winner on February 13. Good luck. And of course, that special someone could be you, Kaylin. You don't have to give it away. You can just get something for yourself.
I think I'm prohibited from entering these contests.
Yeah, you are. You are.
So everyone's clear.
Speaking of ice, there's been a lot of it lately, hey?
Yeah, there has been. Although this weather system really only brought heavy snow to a few areas in particular for parts of Nova Scotia, mostly beginning around the Atlantic coastline, pretty close to the Halifax area. Duncan's Cove picked up 20 centimeters of snow, but by the time you got down to around the city centre, Halifax, and city centre Dartmouth, it was down to around 10 to 12 centimeters, and Hammonds Plains closer to 8. Taking a look, though, at our sunrise and sunset times, we're going to go to a part of the province that did pick up heavier snow from the system. This is in Sydney for today, where the cleanup is on. I don't have final snowfall totals for the Sydney area yet, but there were parts of Cape Breton that did clear over 20 centimeters of snow with that weather system, which then went on to bring in more significant winter storm conditions to parts of Newfoundland. At last check, the St. John's Airport was sitting at pretty close to 30 centimeters of snow, and their winds have been stronger too. It sort of moved to the east of Sable Island, so that spared much of the Maritimes, but you could see it really approach the eastern part of Newfoundland. Taking a look at what's going on radar right now, as we make our way through tonight, there is still a chance of flurries, and the highest chance of some further flurries will be off the Gulf of St. Lawrence for parts of Prince Edward Island, the north shore of Nova Scotia, and Cape Breton, including the Sydney area. Taking a look at our timeline then, the cloud cover here is represented in through the grays. You can see that is most widespread tonight around Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, remains that way into the start of the day for tomorrow. New Brunswick on Tuesday, a bit more of a fair weather mix of sun sun and cloud expected. There will still be a chance of some flurries on Tuesday, a general chance of flurries for the province of Nova Scotia, but also a little bit higher around Prince Edward Island and the north and east of Nova Scotia, including Cape Breton. And that has to do with the wind direction. Winds are mostly still out of the north for tonight, so that does bring a higher chance of flurries off the Gulf for those eastern parts of the Maritimes. And then the forecast for tomorrow, winds remain out of the north morning into afternoon for Prince Edward Island, for much of Nova Scotia. For the province of New Brunswick, though, a little bit more variable direction and a little bit lighter Tuesday afternoon as well, being sustained between 5 and 10 kilometers per hour. Now, low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, parts of the south of New Brunswick, falling a few to several degrees below zero. Much of the remainder of New Brunswick tonight with low temperatures between about -10 and -14. Let's look at the high temperatures in the forecast for Tuesday for New Brunswick, mostly between -2 and -5, around -2 for Charlottetown, many communities in Prince Edward Island. And for Nova Scotia for tomorrow, most of the high temperatures between around -2 and +2. Quick look at Wednesday's forecast. We can expect some further cloud cover around the region, maybe occasional breaks of sunshine, but also more of a widespread chance of flurries on Wednesday. For any given community in the Maritimes, about a 40 to 60% chance of seeing a flurry throughout the day. The high temperatures in New Brunswick between -4 and 0, -1 for Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island, and the high temperatures for Nova Scotia between -1 and +1. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 5-year-old Blake Marie Martel from Westfall, Nova Scotia. And Blake has sent us a drawing of her and sister Leah out on a sunny day. Thank you, Blake. Weather watchers can come in to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or you can email me at kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So HMCS Charlottetown departed Halifax on Sunday, headed for the Indo-Pacific region as part of its latest operation. As CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, it was filled with emotional goodbyes and proud faces.
It was an exciting but nerve-wracking moment.
A bit nervous. I'm in the Air Force. It's my first time on a ship, and it's the first time I've been deployed.
Laura Roy is one of many people heading off on a 6.5-month deployment. An emotional goodbye for family members and loved ones Sunday at the Halifax dockyard.
Well, up until this morning, I had black hair, so that pretty much describes how I feel. But in all sincerity, I'm feeling anxious, but I'm really proud and happy.
Very emotional. I'm very proud of her, what she does, and yeah, it's part of the business.
His Majesty's Canadian ship Charlottetown is headed for the Indo-Pacific as part of Operations Horizon and Neon.
We're going to be, doing some diplomatic and military engagement efforts in the Indo-Pacific, a bunch of different port visits along the way.
It's the Department of National Defence and the Canadian Armed Forces' contribution to Canada's Indo-Pacific strategy.
And so we are the maritime component going to promote peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region.
But even with a difficult send-off, family members expressed appreciation for the courageousness of those serving the country.
I'm really proud, and we have to support our troops, especially now given the political climate. But there's a lot of camaraderie on board, and we have a wonderful country, and it's worth defending and supporting our NATO.
Making an emotional goodbye a proud one. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Lots of tears. All right, we've got something really nice to tell you about here. Starting tonight, we are celebrating African Heritage Month by spotlighting the sounds of Black artists here in the Maritimes. Each day, we will share a taste of a song from a local musician. We kick things off with the one and only Gary Beals. Originally from Cherrybrook, Nova Scotia, he first won our hearts when he placed second on Canadian Idol in 2003. I can't believe it was 2003. Here is a preview of Me for Me as we head to break.
You love, and I love, we love. What more do we need? How could you not take me for me? Why would you want to break free?
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
Join us as we broadcast live from beaches, Turks and Caicos for Concert to Paradise.
You could win your way here. Listen tomorrow at 6 for your first password.
Welcome back. A heartwarming story now about a man who's been playing music all his life. As CTV's Derek Haggett shows us, he recently received, well, an international audience.
Cedric Landers has a hit on his hands. After playing music for almost his whole life, the soon-to-be 90-year-old has become an overnight sensation.
I can't register it yet that it's really happened.
He plays every day for his wife, Marina. They've been married for 70 years. With a little help from her daughter, Marina posted videos of Cedric playing inspirational hymns on Facebook. The response was overwhelmingly positive, so she decided to create an Instagram account for her father.
So I thought, let's try that. So I started an account for Dad, and on December 30th, and it's taken off. The response is from around the world.
See, I sat down and did all of this stuff.
1.3 million views and more than 10,000 followers all the way from South Korea to Brazil.
I can't believe it, that many people were listening to the radio. Well, not a radio, but that's what I call it.
He learned how to play when he was just 7 years old.
Bing Crosby and all those fellows that had musical programs, I listened to them till my mother chased me upstairs to bed.
Laura Lee thinks the sudden online popularity is because the old hymns bring joy to so many people.
Their grandfather sang that or played that, or their grandmother, or they sang it with their mom. So I think it brings back a lot of memories.
It's all a bit hard for Cedric to wrap his mind around.
The people are out there listening for something. They're listening for something, and apparently it sounds good to them, I guess.
Cedric says if all of his followers are church people, they'll know all of the hymns. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Lutz Mountain, New Brunswick.
Or you can learn them as he plays them. And that is it's an emotional story, of course, but it's also, you're a phenomenal player, Cedric. Thank you for sharing. I just love that.
I'm not surprised at all, because I found myself looking for more things about like positivity or things that are uplifting or inspirational on social media nowadays. So
anything that'll put a smile on your face.
That's right. Glad to see that he's enjoying it and that people around the world are getting a chance to enjoy it as well.
Absolutely love that. All right, so Kaylin, now put a smile on my face. How's it looking tomorrow?
Not too bad. We've got some cloud cover that's around. Chance of flurries. Temperature seasonably chilly over the next couple days. Does get a little bit colder towards the end of the week. I'll talk more about that coming up on CTV News at 6.
We'll see you and Todd at 6. I'll see you tomorrow. The national news is next. Thanks for watching.